What's up, guys? My name is Hunter. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this isn't your first time here, welcome back. I make content about making content, videos about making videos, or music. Lately, I've been on a music kick, and that's what we're sticking with today. So we're going to run over to Ableton here, and basically I'm going to show you 3 different levels of software synthesizer, from very beginner to more like intermediate, you know what you're doing and you need more tools, to top of the line, like you want the most control and you want modularity inside of your DAW, and you want to be able to just make whatever sound you want and have no constraints. Got Ableton Live 11 popped up here on my screen. First one I want to talk about today is a plugin called Noisemaker by Tao, however you want to pronounce it. And they make some really good plugins and also some good free plugins as well. But the cool thing about this right here, I'm kind of saying this as the entry-level synthesizer. So if you are wanting to get into synthesis, but you want to do it like software, or you don't have the money to buy hardware, and you don't really know a ton about synthesizers, this plugin is going to be a great place to start. And really quickly, I'll run you through why. First of all, the interface, it's not busy. If you look at it here, it is showing you just what you need. It is not super fancy looking, and they don't add a ton of extra stuff that you know, for modulation, and there's not a billion settings in here. It's really just the basics, but it sounds really good. So you have 2 LFOs, low frequency oscillators, for modulating sound sources, and really whatever you want. You have 2 oscillators plus a sub oscillator over here, which is super cool. And then you have your filter, your amp filter. You have effects, chorus, crush, reverb, and delay. And then you can also change things like velocity, pitch, calibration down here at the bottom. So we're going to jump in. We are going to do the default to where it brings you into. So this is what it sounds like right when you open it. Real gritty. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds dirty. It kind of sounds analog, like it's supposed to be modeled after. So that's what you're going to start with. You're going to start with 1 oscillator and a sub oscillator. So we take that sub away. You just have 1 saw wave tuned down 12 semitones. And then let's say we want to bring in another oscillator at the normal, not tuned down, to kind of give it some width. And then if we bring in the sub, I mean, we're technically at 3 oscillators. The sub is its own, but it's just taking whatever sound you have and giving you like a sub frequency, right? So that's the basis of it, is the oscillators, the sub oscillator. And then if you want, you can add things like chorus and reverb. Let's add one of these chorus settings, and then we'll turn on some reverb. You have a lot built into this. If you want to just grab this, not have to worry about tossing plugins on, I mean, you have really all you need inside of this with the effects. And then if you want to mess with the cutoff, give yourself some, you know, sweeps. Let's... So you have a lot to work with here. And what I recommend is get something like this if this is your first one. Get this one exactly, or something else that's simple. This one I'm showing you, but there's a lot of synthesizers that have a lot of potential, but if you don't know exactly what everything's doing, you will just get lost. That's why I say start out with this one right here and use it until you know it very well, and you can shape sounds however you're imagining them in your head. And then you move on to the next one. Now, if we move up to more of like a mid-level, let's close this out and let's move over to Vital. So Vital is another free synth plugin that you can download. There are paid versions of it too, where you get more presets and you get more skins, and I definitely recommend paying for it to support the guy who made it. Vital's amazing. So you can do very little with it, or you can do anything you would need with it. With Vital, you get 3 oscillators, you get 2 filters, you get 3 envelopes, you get 4 LFOs, and a whole lot more. Inside of the effects, you can also add another filter, and then you have a full matrix, kind of like Serum if you've ever heard of it or seen it. But basically, this gives you everything you need to go even farther into synthesis. First of all, you have more oscillators that you can mix and play with, and you just have a lot more freedom to get what you want, especially with this mod matrix, which is actually a really nice version here. I've also got the advanced section where you can really dive in, but I wouldn't even think about that. I would just jump in on this front page and start going. So you have this initial preset here, which is just one oscillator on a saw, just that gritty saw. And then with this one, you know, I can turn up unison. And the Noisemaker plugin has unison. I don't like how it works, so I'm not even going to get to that. But you have your initial preset, then you can also jump in and do different kinds of wavetables. So if we just want to do basic shapes here, you can take it, go through all the basic synthesis shapes. And then, you know, you can go and turn on as many of these as you want. And just to see like what we can do here. Clear keys. So if you look here, I mean, there's a ton going on, and I'm sure if we jump into the matrix, yeah, there is a lot of modulation going on here. But inside of Vital, you have way more options that you can just spend days and days messing with and getting new and different sounds. And if you pay for it, it also has a text to wavetable where if you type in words, it will make that into a synth and you can kind of make it say things. Stranger Synths, this is another one in his preset where if you use the LFO over here to make this little stair step, we can go Stranger Things. And so this is something you could not do in the previous one with all the modulation like this. Like you could get something similar, but he's got filters running here, envelopes, LFOs, and if you look at these circles here, that is different modulation. So this one is linked to the filter cutoff, oscillator 2 transpose, oscillator 1 filter cutoff, oscillator 3 distortion, like a little bit of everything. And then you have obviously your macros. You have your macros right here, and you can map them to anything you want and have a ball. So level 3 for all of you people who want more. This is Reactor 6. Let's open it up here. And as you can see, you probably, if you don't know what modular synthesis is or you've never seen one, this probably looks a little weird. But basically what we have going on here is you have to set up, and it comes with a lot of pre-made ones, but you have to set up how the synthesizer works. So we have our note in, that is going to be our MIDI input, pitch to the oscillator, and then that goes out to the filter, and the filter goes out to the voltage controlled amplifier, which if you don't have something controlling that, it just goes forever. Let's say I turn this up, that amplifier is just going to run the oscillator constantly. So we turn that down, and we have it being run via the envelope out to A, and then A right here. So now when we play notes and it runs it through this MIDI module here, then it is going to let notes play. You can see the lights lighting up. With this is a very simple patch. We have just our oscillator noise here. We can use cutoff. And then we can also attach LFOs to modulate things. The sky is the limit if we're being honest here. So I know this seems like very simple, but then you can add in reverbs and effects and other oscillators. So this is one that is inside of the program already. So there's a lot more going on here. So this is just oscillators and different effects. It's called string theory. And so, I mean, if you know what you're doing, the sky's the limit. Basement keys. So, I mean, you can turn this into a string instrument, a piano, an actual like synth-sounding synth. And the cool thing is when you buy this, it comes with a lot of instruments, and then there's also instruments that Native Instruments sells that are built on Reactor. So one of my favorites is Monarch. Monarch is basically a model of the Moog 1, or it's modeled after the Moog 1. And so this is technically built on Reactor, and you can make your own instruments all day long if you wanted to and make an interface for them. But basically under the interface of this Monarch synth is just a bunch of patch cables. Somebody made it to work like this. And this kind of just shows you that all synths are just basically patched in for you. So here, and with Reactor, you can go online to many different companies and you can buy more modules. With something like Reactor, you have a million different options for how you want to shape your sound, and it's all up to you. And that's why this is kind of top tier. It's just like buying, a whole wall of random modular synth gear and patching all the cables yourself. And it really opens up your mind to exploration and experimentation. Those are the 3 tiers. We have the beginner one, the tall noisemaker. We have Vital, which is going to be a nice mid-tier with, you could honestly use that thing for years and never find everything. That one's pretty intense in terms of what it offers. But when comparing it to something like a modular synth station, it is definitely not as intricate. So that is where the modular synthesis is top of the line in terms of like knowledge and how much you can do with it. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'm going to link all of these synthesizers down in the description as well. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave me a like, or don't. I won't be mad at you. But I hope I see you in the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.